head into the drafting phase, it comes down to which side both teams are on. If SRG's on red side, they got a lot of thinking to do in this first phase, especially.
Let's see who won the coin flip, and it looks like FNOP have decided to, at very least, actually, we're not sure who wins the coin flip, or whether or not, SRG decided to go red, even if they did. But at the end of the day, Suyo has been a very strong opener for the blue side, and especially in the hands of King Kong, it doesn't feel like he ever hesitates on his decision, which is why he seems to be so mobile on this one pick.
It's not just that, it's also kind of the macro knowledge, right? I think a lot of people have talk about FNOP as a team that are so good in their mechanics that it translates into those macro decisions. We saw them with picks like Suyo, like Luo Yi, and I think the general consensus would be this iteration of FNOP is the best out there, right? Like it feels that they're irreplaceable right now.
So FNOP have respect banned 2 of the topics of Cram in the Swiss stage, which is the high loss and the Hilda, and the space that it provides, while taking away a stable high loss, alpha pickup for SRG in the hands of Sakai. So they are signaling to SRG to go ahead, let's play the assassin game. Let's go for the high mobile, high damage heroes that we're known to use, Sakai and King Kong. While for SRG, they take away the Fanny of King Kong, and one of the most stable bans you have to commit when you're up against Fnatic Onyx Philippines is actually the Jushin. So for SRG, are they thinking of taking away the Bruno, or they actually take away the joy of King Kong?
This is actually pretty smart here, because now I want to see what the opener for FNOP is going to be. Is it going to be instantly pick up the Phoveus to try and deny another pick away from Cram? If they do decide to give Phoveus away and go for Blue Yo once again, which they usually do, especially on that blue side, that means they might have another potential answer to the Phoveus, maybe in terms of just lane pressure or wave clear with Gatot, or maybe some other picks.
If you want to go for first pick Bruno, like a lot of teams do, there is also that choice. The Luo Yi is also up on the table for FNOP. If you want to first pick it, now is your chance, right? Because SRG, they're essentially willing to go for the trade, but this King Kong Suyo is now going to be out of his cage.
Yeah. So the next possible trades are Cho, Suyo, maybe even a surprise Luo Yi steal as one of the first 2 picks on the red side, so that Super Friends won't get his hands on it. Though they did get a loss against BTK with that hero, FNOP are very prideful of that Luo Yi pick.
Yeah, they are. And very understandably so, man. Super Prince is one of those Luo Yis where it's hard to imagine Luo Yi without him.
Yeah.
Now, Luo Yi stolen away, but they also decided to take away the Cho. I would have imagined that they would lean into maybe picking up the Bruno alongside the Cho and attack the gold roam support side of the map. But doing it in this particular order now tells, hey, if you pick up the Bruno, that's totally fine, but you must take the Purify alongside it.
That, and also this, I know that we've seen SRG flex that Cho a few times in the local league for Cram. I mean, if they want to go down that route, it's always there, depending on what the roamers are left in the pool after this. But for FNOP, this is one of the few teams that does not mind leaving Kelra's hero for last, right? So for them in this case, they're not really worried about that goal lane matchup. They've won in a disadvantage matchup, but that Bruno is online, so you guys just pick it.
Okay, and there's the Khalid for Fnatic Onyx Philippines, going most likely into the hands of Brusco. Now, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, though, still need to be careful of potentially SRG swerving and picking up a lineup that does well with Fredrin in the jungle. They were able to play that well up against during the Swiss stages, so I wouldn't be surprised if they might have their eyes set on building that and just playing for a lineup that wants to supplement a long-range hero such as a Granger for Innocent.
I'm thinking about Burst, right? As much as Granger sounds like a great idea, I feel like taking a Beatrix might just be the better bet only because you have the Cho. But if they don't want to go through that route, they can look to pick up Phoveus now, despite Khalid being that flex pick, just to kind of force, hey, EXP side of the map might just be within our control. You're forced to play towards gold.
Yeah, I like a Phoveus pickup for SRG here. And it's going to be the boss.
Wow. I mean, you can't blame him, right? Like, when they asked about his what pick do you want to help us win a knockout game, and he said Moskov, give it to him.
This is a very interesting idea because this feels very NIP Flash, right?
Yeah.
It feels like they kind of want to play with the diversions. They want to sneak into the back line at key opportunities in this game. And as an SRG fans are building up the hype for the second half of the drafting phase, there are still a lot of holes for both teams this side. It doesn't look very lopsided right now.
Yeah. So with SRG playing the map that sort of shuts down one of the tendencies of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Their signature 4-1 split that sends King Kong into the far lane while 4 members with a strong team fight by FNOP can hold the major objective. FNOP blocks the Fredrin while SRG blocks the Sicilian. Fantastic drafting and banning from these two teams so far.
Wonderful, wonderful draft.
This is why some people say that you are looking at a potential grand finals match already, right? Like the drafting is just masterclass from both teams. Just good understanding. Like we see Super Prince with the Sicilian also. The only difference is that SRG, they're looking for a jungler and a flex, whereas for FNOP, they're looking for Super Prince's hero, and SRG, they're trying to block it out.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what they're going to do to get that level of burst with the Cho. I mean, Cho can be used proactively or defensively. He's extremely flexible in that sense. I'm curious whether or not, as you've mentioned before, whether this Cho flex into the EXP is a good idea. And I think that's what they're going to do all the way to the very end, as they've already banned out Godthought. Unless they want to solidify what their EXP lane, they're probably going to pick Phoveus, worst comes to worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there goes a Nolan.
The signature Nolan from Sakai's. Just good respect.
Wow. Well, great respect from both of these two. I wonder if that means that they might end up picking something like a Hayabusa for Sakai's as one of his last best options. The Ling is still on the board, but Ling has definitely fallen out of favor.
What about Julian?
I feel like actually, unless they have, if they go Julian here, all they're missing is whether or not they have an EX, unless they go for like a damaged EXP laner, because then it just won't be enough, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to supplement, you're trying to look for, if you play Julian, you're looking for a composition that is willing to skirmish on a drop of a dime, right? At any point of time, let's go for the all-in.
Okay, they get the Terizla, a solid front. So I wonder how solid they'll actually get with this lineup. What if suddenly, now they will need to go damage in the jungle, or they're gonna be playing for a very mid, very late game style of play style. Well, Fnatic Onyx Philippines needs a little bit more AoE in their books.
Yeah, it's telling Kelra that, okay, you need Purify for the choke kick. Hey, if you use Purify, you're not gonna have Flicker for the penalty zone, right? You gotta pick a poison. This is limit testing Kelra. Kind of put him in a spot where you gotta play your best game as a Bruno.
I wonder if they'll pick up a CC for Kirk. Go for the traditional CC Terizla matchup.
I was thinking that as well.
Tamus?
I feel like Edith may make a little bit more sense here, only because you want to keep up pressure, but at the same time, I still don't know who's going to go into the EXP lane. I feel like Khalid can technically go there as well, but when you have Varsa on your side, it makes a little more sense to have Edith as your support.
It feels like it's a Brusco Khalid. Like we've seen him play like Khalid roam plenty of times.
And Edith is a signature pick of Cram in MPL Philippines, so that's going to be the lineup for FNOP. They needed just a little bit more magic damage, so they paired it up with the Edith as well. Good damage distribution and profile for FNOP, while for SRG, they have the choice. They can either go Assassin in the jungle, or they're just going to go Sturdy again and just play for a mid to late style play style. I'm leaning towards a Hayabusa right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. It doesn't feel like there's much choices right now with the Fredrin and Nolan banned out. If not Hayabusa, Julian is probably like the riskier pick, but Hayabusa is definitely feels like that one.
It's Julian.
Oh yeah, they went to the Julian. All right, okay.
All right, yeah, they want to be able to fight at any point of time in the game, pre-level 3. If they will get some kind of an early lead, it'll be interesting to see, but both sides very team fight heavy. This Farsa pick is going to be dangerous.
Fnatic Onyx Philippines versus Selangor Red Giants in the very first day of knockouts. Make some noise, Iowa Cinema!
The Philippines' last hope clashes with the Immortal Giants at the end of this best of 3. One of these tournament favorites will be forced to go on an underdog run in the lower bracket. Jose Ingan, Leo here at your service, bringing you Fnatic Onyx Philippines versus Selangor Red Giants.
Possible glimpse of a finals matchup between the champions of their respective regions, and man, looking at the lineup, they really choked Sakai's, like as you mentioned before, with the draft in bans.
Choking him is an understatement. I think they really ran the Sky Prince out of his jurisdiction and said, you know what, throw back to about 6 months ago when Julian was good. Let's get into the battlefield as we watch these two champions, these two titans of MLBB esports clash for our entertainment. Wherever you're watching from, at home, here with us in the arena, if you are at a watch party, one of those from all around the world, thank you so much for making us part of your weekend. Let's check out these early rotations. Is this the first time we're actually seeing Super Vince on a far side in a year? Maybe in a couple of years since his debut.
I think so. We've used to seen him use Louis, the Valentinas, even the Faramis, but right now, an artillery mage. You know that Super Prince really wants to give out the damage. Just looking at the emblems, he's ready for war.
The monster mage here, putting up quite an effort. The Malaysian goat pushing him out. Humes, in comes the beast!
They're going in for an early aggression onto Cram. Same like what we've seen during the first series, wherein they want to target the XP lane. They're going to keep the gold lane safe first. They're not going to mind that. All eyes are on the XP lane.
Look at this multifaceted attack. The assault on the senses by Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Selangor Red Giants, we've yet to see them pull any proactive moves here in this early bout. Again, a minute and a half in, and for the first time, it's Humes crossing the river.
I actually like that you point that out, because if you're gonna watch out for the games of SRG, we've seen Sakai in his local scene, you know, be the aggressor, go for the invades. But right now, so far in M6, we haven't seen the aggressive side of Sakai. Maybe it's because of the draft, because they're trying to choke him out like what Fnatic Onyx Philippines do. But right now, if SRG wants to go up against a Titan and bring them down, Sakai needs to be proactive.
Brusco coming in with those hot scimitars. Quick check on the gold lane for Mer league mates. Both MVPs, both MSC champions at that, and now Brusco jumping in.
Yes, and Kelra already pops his Purify. Brusco on the other hand, quick sandguard. Here comes Yuns. G22 Crab goes in with a penalty zone, and the first blood drawn onto the bruiser of Fnatic Onyx. Crab picks up the kill.
And that was a trade. Fnatic Onyx happy to get that out of the way as King Kong secures the turtle. If you ask me, 4 out of 5 times, that's worth it. King Kong overshoots.
Overshoots, but now focuses his eyes on Sakai's. Here comes Yums though to the rescue. He doesn't have his level 4 yet. But on the other hand, Super Prince brings down his reign of terror over Stormy.
The Mage Prodigy didn't see that coming. Again, that is what's so elusive. That is what's so odd about seeing Super Prince on an artillery mage.
Yeah, this time, we've said this a lot of times. Super Prince has been the unsung hero of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. He has been a team player, but it looks like this time he's gonna be the star that the Super family needs to bring down the Giants.
Amazing how they have relegated core status to Super Prince. And I'll tell you now, I'm seeing where it's coming from, because King Kong, he's playing more of a utility Suyo, as weird as that sounds. So far, this has given Fnatic Onyx about 1,000 gold ahead, 3.5 minutes in. Second turtle spawning in the lower quarter, so expect a little bit more action there, a little bit more of a commotion around our gold laners. More on Kelra, more on Innocent. I believe the score is X and nil. Not a single game Innocent has won when he's faced off against the gold standard.
Yeah, but this guy, in this case, Innocent though, his mindset has changed. It's shifted. He doesn't think about the player behind the hero. This time, he just thinks about the hero matchup, when in this case, it's Bruno. And we all know Bruno can be a lane bully, especially with the fast rotation from the mid trio of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. So they're going to play it safe. Again, they have a huge advantage when it comes to the mid to late game. They still have Stormy on the Louis that can play a huge role when it comes to the macro gameplay.
And we've yet to see those diversions come into play, given we are in the early game, 4 minutes in. Huge rotations up top. King Kong and Kirk making sure the coast is clear as they rotate back, using the waves, using the current to rotate in. The flicker away.
But on the other hand, they're going to go for a counter-attack though. Defender airstrike is there. Selangor Red Giants still has the numbers game advantage. Scrap still has the penalty zone plus the flicker. Let's see who's going to set up first in the turtle pit.
Humes here down to a 1/4 of his health.
Oh, penalty zone! Connecting onto Brusco. Raging Phantom is there, but it's not going to be enough to sustain the damage. Coming in from Selangor Red Giants. Fnatic Onyx Philippines on the other hand, answering right back. Brings down Humes, brings down Sakai's, and it looks like King Kong has a clear path to this turtle. But Kirk says, we don't just want the turtle, we want 3 bodies. 3 giants will be taken down.
That was hot.
It was.
2.2K now, 5 minutes in, suddenly the snap. Ladies and gentlemen, the clutch has been stepped on, and we're going into 6th gear as Fnatic Onyx go into Selangor Red Giants jungle. Even Humes can't stand the heat.
Honestly, at this point, it's not the 6th gear, it's the 7th, 8th, 9th tempo on Fnatic's side at 2.9K gold lead. You rarely see SRG on the backseat having a step back on the aggressor side. So Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they've studied what SRG can do again, utilizing their knowledge down to the draft, preventing Sekais from getting a good hero, but here comes the diversion from SRG.
All right, it looks like Kirk saw that coming. So this relative mum, this silence, this calm before the storm allows for us to catch our breath. You too, Ingan. So with that said, 6 minutes incoming, a minute until another turtle spawns. It's a crapshoot. It's a dice roll here for Selangor Giants if they want to fight that, because if anything, right now they're going into what we usually see in the late game for these high-octane teams, these well-oiled engines. They would rather go for ambushes. You saw that diversion.
Yeah, we saw that diversion again, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're 1 step, 2 steps ahead. Even Super Fritz, this is one of his signature heroes. He knows where the diversions will be casted, even down to the specific time. As King Kong trying to dish out and kite away Cram. Cram has to walk away, but this time, they might overcommit onto King Kong.
He goes down, a clean pick-off by Selangor Red Giants, and here's a clapback. Yums gets flipped over and burnt out. Super Fritz gets a kill.
A roam for a jungler, that might be a favorable trade for SRG. That's why SRG wants to extend their lead. The Spear of Destruction will connect along with the penalty zone, but Kirkdo with Earth Shatter catching SRG off guard, and they're gonna halt the clash, but Stormy says, Super Friends, it's my time to shine, brings him down.
1-1, the score between the Mage Prodigy and the Monster Mage in mid. And they're man down. It looks like Selangor Giants have found the window.
Okay, but Brusco though has a good opportunity here. Yums on the other hand has to conceal. Now it's gonna be a turtle. That's Yums was able to just undo.
And they find one. Ikram in the middle of it all, taken down by King Kong, Stormy, and the Yin Yang.
King Kong delivering the Sever to bring down Stormy and take back what he did to Kelra. As Innocent has to walk away, getting chased down by Brusco and the Kirk. Here comes the Raging Sandstorm.
The Bruiser finds one. Innocent is down. Sekai's the only one left. Onyx Philippines are fanatic about this as they take the last turtle. None for SRG.
The Super Family displaying excellence, displaying their chemistry. You said that Brusco found one. Well, Super Friend says, I'm gonna take him down, brother. 4.6k gold lead. And even if Selangor Red Giants, we do have to commend Yums. He has been performing relatively well. The Jeet Kunduz has been connecting.
He's my goat.
Way of the Dragon as well. But the problem is, Fnatic Onyx Philippines again, always 2-3 steps ahead.
From minute 0, I think Fnatic Onyx have found their way in to SRG's camp. They, some way, somehow, made Sekai struggle even harder. Critics, analysts, fans would say this is not the Sekais we saw in MSC. This is not the same Sky Prince from Riyadh when they won MSC. And now they put him on a hero that isn't even meta. And now Yums is in trouble. In comes Brusco.
Kirk with the Earth Shatter. Here comes the Feathering Airstrike. The artillery coming in from Super Fringe just to bring down Innocent. And that's the proper target the Fnatic Onyx Philippines wanted. He went for Yums, but now Brusco, trying to go for Sekais. As Sekais tries to work on his purple buff. Here comes King Kong, dashes in. Tram still has his penalty zone just to counter attack, but SRG will have the discipline to walk away and just let Fnatic Onyx Philippines get the purple buff.
The Sigma Junglers Riz, Ohio Phantom Tax pushing in. They're not done.
Oh, Yums though, in a very good position. Tram goes in for the penalty zone.
Kelra in trouble, taken out. Yums gets his man, and that's a pickoff. Selangor Red Giants finds one.
Wow.
Like a needle in a haystack.
Leo, Fnatic Onyx Philippines initiation, they got Innocent. What's a better way to answer right back? SRG, Yums with the conceal onto the backline to take down Kelra. They know their targets, and they're hitting their marks.
He got that without a flicker, ladies and gentlemen, so he got it the hard way. Now suddenly, since Fnatic are a man down, Selangor Giants are standing their ground. They're pushing back against Fnatic. Sekais dashes on out, gives us a few more moments to breathe and figure out what's happening. 10 minutes into game number 1. All right, a little bit of a recap on what exactly is going down in the battlefield. Kelra just respawned.
Yeah.
4 men circling around from Fnatic Onyx. Selangor in a better position. The Giants are actually pushed forward a little bit. If anything, it's Sekais who looks like he wants to dance. Who's gonna start this? Because Yums has a flicker.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You mentioned Yums has a flicker, and we also, prior to that clash, Kirk expended his. So where's the initiation coming in from Fnatic Onyx Philippines? They do have the Raging Sandstorm, but is it going to be enough though to catch? Because again, we've seen Sekai's and Innocent. They're not necessarily grouping up. They're spreading out along with Stormy.
And what's worse is Kelra's Purify has been used up already. So the Super family is in super danger right now. This Lord, despite them being up by about 3,000 gold, isn't looking as yellow and orange as a lot of Filipino fans would want it to be. So now, I'd reckon IOI is slowly going to come back to life here. SRG is on up and up.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that, because if you were here yesterday, with a CFU SRG game.
That was yesterday's yesterday.
Yesterday's yesterday. 80% of the time for Game 3, the crowd was mild. And when Innocent Sphere of Destruction connected, everyone went wild, up their seats, screaming at the top of their lungs. And SRG is looking to replicate that. Again, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they do have a gold lead, but that's misleading. As you mentioned, the kit that SRG has right now and the availability of their skills.
That's right.
Can be is advantageous actually for the Red Giant.
Yeah, you give athletes as talented and as committed, as clutch as these champions are from SRG, and even a 5-6K gold leading, and even that will not put them down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And so far, what I've been seeing for SRG, Yums and Cram and Stormy has been doing their job well. Sekai's on the other hand though, we need to see the Sekai's that we saw back in MSC. The aggressor, the mechanically gifted jungler for SRG. He needs to be able to out-retreat King Kong during this first Lord fight.
Despite the comebacks, you know, these small jabs at Fnatic Onyx lead, I think you're right. I think the retry diff, the jungle diff here is going to be key. Lord here down to a 5th of himself, down to a 10.
Okay, here comes the Raging Sandstorm coming in from Brusco, and Stormy gets the Lord! Innocent on the other hand, just to sing on down to the knees. Cram, in the midst of everything, will be taken down. In exchange from Brusco, Sekai's also falls down. Here comes the counterattack coming in from Fnatic Onyx Philippines, but SRG, Stormy gets the Lord!
Oh, in comes King Kong, the beast finds his target. 3 for 1. The Lord now looking like a bad deal for SRG.
Now Fnatic Onyx Philippines turns the tides to their favor once again. SRG not going to be able to use up this Lord. Keller's going to make quick work of it. That's why SRG, I think they want to go to look for a pick-off here. They know that Fnatic Onyx Philippines is scattered.
And just like that, Kelra and Kirk make quick work of the Lord. That's a negative gain, if ever we've seen one from a Lord take. Very expensive, very costly. And folks, that was off of a turn from Fnatic Onyx. You could have sworn that SRG got away with it. You could have sworn it was worthy of the trade. But the mechanics of communication, the synergy of Fnatic Onyx, who'd have thought that was possible? King Kong show himself here. River control by the defending champions from the Philippines. SRG back to square one. They're trapped again on their side of the map.
You know, the way that Fnatic Onyx Philippines has been grouping up, it's like that they're the ones with the diversion. It's like they're the ones confident and in a better position to make a play compared to what SRG has been doing. We haven't seen so far a diversion play.
Ikram pushing back. It makes sense though, the way they're moving like this. And there you go, Brusco, no one home. Up to the wall, and the conceal.
Penalty zone coming in from Grab Super Prince. Even in the midst of everything, gonna cast a feathered airstrike. Gonna try and bring down Grab. Kelra picks one kill. Here comes King Kong, dashes in, forcing SRG once again to retreat. And Fnatic Onyx Philippines, I mean, that wasn't a perfect executed initiation. But for some reason, the guts of Super Prince, even though SRG is literally staring at him, he still casted the feathered airstrike.
Must have been bittersweet, popping those spells on his former teammate. Nothing personal. 4,000 gold here. Fnatic Onyx is ahead, 14-7. The Lord spawning up top. They catch Yums. Forced him back. Another feathered airstrike. That's a warning shot.
Warning shot to make sure Yums doesn't have the comfort of going for those brushes. Again, they were... this is actually Fnatic Onyx Philippines' adaptability. A while ago, when they were able to take down Kelra, that's what Yums did. He went to that brush specifically, then eventually concealed to try and be able to Jit Kundu, then Way of the Dragon Kelra, despite the Purify. So you can see already the adaptability of Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
This is Fnatic Onyx freestyling and changing the tempo, changing the measures. They understood what SRG was trying to get at, so they changed the beat and they pushed Yums out of that bush. and now they control even that lower quarter. Once more, they catch Humes, forcing him to dash back into that purple side brush.
Oh.
And now the conceal. Where's Fnatic on it going? Who do they spot? Ikram, pushed out. Brusco, Sand walks in, and they realign. Again, a scrum here. Looking for the engage.
Good use of the conceal to try and get SRG out of position. Just looking at damage coming in from Keller. Here comes Cram with the conceal. Stormy though, diversion plays. Perfect
They know!
also connects. A lot of isolated clashes happening right now. But still Sakai's gets the lure.
Bang!
Keller answers back with a volley shot to bring down Sakai's and Stormy. Again, same thing happened. SRG with the Lord, Fnatic with the kills.
The jungler in the mid for a Lord and nothing to trade for it? I think Fnatic Onic had this planned out all along. I mean, sure, you could have retrieved, but King Kong made the call. He said, I'm going to go on Stormy, and we're going to make him pay. Lord spawns down bottom, but mid and top are for Fnatic.
At this point, SRG, that's more than what they wanted. Preventing Fnatic Onic Philippines from getting the Lord and getting an inhibitor turret down. 4 seconds before Stormy respawns, Sakai's responds. They have the diversion, so they can make a play actually, since Fnatic Onic is preoccupied with this Lord.
Humes, Cram, and Innocent on the aggression here. They're on the offense, they're looking for targets, and seems to be a feint. They're pushing him back, unless in comes Brusco. By
Connecting onto two with a raging sandstorm. Here comes the diversion. Cram with the penalty zone. They're working on Innocent. Innocent is gonna fall down in exchange for Brusco. He as well. Cram caught in the midst of everything. Last man is Stormy, and Sakai's wasn't in the picture. Fnatic Onic Philippines takes 4 down.
The Sky Prince running solo, and he can only push mid. King Kong to the rescue, clean in-house. Selangor Red Giants reeling right now, 1 for 4. I thought it was the worst start when they lost Esan, when Innocent fell. But when Ikram followed, when you followed, when Stormy followed, oh no. Ingan, I think they're going for the end game.
One guard minion is here. Sakai is desperately trying to burst it down. He will do so successfully. But Fnatic Onic Philippines, they have minions onto the middle lane. They're going to be disciplined enough to disengage. And that was enough time both for Sakai's to save Selangor Red Giants.
Not quite the end game just yet. Fnatic Onic Philippines reading the room. With a minute until the next Lord spawns, finally they might score 1. And they'll take it slow, deliberate, surgical in their approach. Approaching the 16-minute mark, Innocent is actually in a better shape than Kelra.
Yeah, because again, Innocent, although he's at 2-3-1, still with the space created for Innocent, specifically from Cram and Yums, he's still able to do a lot of things for SRG. But the problem is Fnatic Onic Philippines, they have a lot of engage.
That's what you call a funnel. And it's all in on Innocent. Fnatic Onic, they have their eggs spread across many different baskets. There's one in a Swiss bank account somewhere else waiting, because that's what Super Prince's Feathered Airstrike is. It's such a long-range artillery spell that even if you start the fight with it, fight goes long enough, he's got another coming.
He's got another coming. I mean, looking at the battle spell, it's just a flicker, not even a purify, but still, 1 death. Despite there being a Yums show, so far Super Prince's super positioning has been doing wonders for Fnatic Onic Philippines. So SRG, let's see what's their play.
Brusco coming in, conceal, spots Innocent. Does he force it? There's the Feathered Airstrike. There's a jump!
Winter Crown's not going to be enough to try and delay the push Fnatic Onic Philippines is doing. King Kong on the other hand is going down. Innocent on a rampage right now. Wind of Nature is going to be there for the 2 gold laners. They're working on Brusco. Might be able to take him down though. But Brusco has his immortality. It will be popped. Crown on the other hand goes down in the hands of the gold standard. A 2-for-1 trade. King Kong for Sakai's and Cram.
With Innocent, Humes, and Stormy here, what's the call? Do the Super Family blitz this Lord? Can they afford to do that?
Man, plan A should be the Hail Mary Innocent Spear of Destruction. They don't have, both teams don't have a Retribution holder, so it's still possible for SRG.
Watch out. Innocent does have an immortality. That gives him more of an advantage, a larger margin for error compared to what Kelra's working with. Just raw stats, sheer mechanics, instincts that would take decades to perfect, that the gold standard has done through his years in professional play. Fnatic Onic finally just respawned all in. Selangor making them work for this final Lord.
Okay, looking at the items, Innocent just pick up a Wind of Nature. On the other hand, Kelra has just the Rose Gold Meteor. So Innocent can still swap the Wind of Nature later on for the Immortality. Let's see how Kelra's micro mechanics will save him up against a Titan like Innocent.
Lord here, down to half health. Fnatic Onyx urging, taunting, provoking SRG to dance. Cram up to the task. SRG taking control of this river brush and a sneaky push by Innocent up top.
And that's the thing. That's what you're going to do if you're Innocent. Play the macro game. Play it at your own pace. Again, you did lose 2 inhibitor turrets, but that's the thing. You still have Moscow and Stormy with the Lu Yi.
So far, it looks like Selangor Giants have Fnatic Onyx number. The macro, slightly better. The map control. Oh, Kirk down to put to a fifth of his health. Forced to use the ult.
Forced to use the ult, and he still gets the Lord away from SRG. Penalty zone will connect Stormy on the other hand onto the back line with the diversion. Winter Crown play. Here comes Innocent onto the top lane. He takes down inhibitor with him. Sakai is doing his best to work on Kelra. 2 bodies will fall down for SRG. There's a Winter Crown, but look at the base coming in from Innocent. He already used up his Wind of Nature. King Kong's Immortality will be popped. Now they're on the chase. They on the revenge onto Innocent. Kirk with Earth Shatter. Immortality will be popped, and they will shut him down.
Flashing back to his days in MPL Philippines. A failed segue. A backdoor denied. Esan falls. Fnatic Onyx Philippines on the offense. Cram flickering away.
Cram and Sakai's left to defend. There's the Lord sieging in onto the mid lane as King Kong works on Cram. The rest of the Super family works on the push, works on game number 1.
Fnatic Onyx Philippines taking the first game here, threatening a sweep. SRG up against the ropes. 20 minutes. Definitely a grand finals preview. If you ask any fan, 5 minutes into the finish, you could have sworn anyone was gonna win. Let's throw it over to our analysts to break it down.
That is exactly what we wanted for a first game in this series. Surprisingly close, tense, and just filled with damn good, sometimes messy MLBB.
God damn, I didn't expect this first game to be that explosive, right? SRG, so many times from the depths of certain defeat, they keep pulling it back, and it really came down to the most minute of details. SOD going wide, right? Not being able to get the Lord at the end that allowed FNOP to win. Gotta give props to SRG, man. They put up a fight that I didn't expect that they would.
Yeah, me neither. Especially with the lead that Fnatic Onyx had. Like, I feel like Fnatic Onyx could have ended this game a lot sooner, but there was a lot of overthinking happening because of the divergence, because of where the SOD could be coming from, which is why we can clearly tell that both teams respect each other to an uncomfortable degree.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. The sheer amount of respect they have for each other's capability to turn things around just extended this game to a length that we didn't expect because of the lead that Fnatic Onyx Philippines had.
I mean, think about it this way. King Kong had a 4-level lead on Sakai's on a Julian of all things. Now, Julian struggles to get in on the Lord pit, right? Everybody knows that unless you are committing all your abilities to jump into that pit, you're basically sacrificing yourself to try and give your team an option, a chance at it. But I don't know. There's a lot of moments where Fnatic Onyx probably should have just taken a fight instead of going for the Lord. Just push SRG. Even if you get into our flanks, who cares? We've got a whopping lead against you, and as long as Super Prince's positioning isn't compromised with his Feathered Airstrike, majority of these fights should fall into their hands.
Yeah, the craziest thing is that throughout this entire game, we saw 3 Lords. King Kong got none of them. It was 2 for SRG. The last one was secured by Kirk. And King Kong had a level lead the entire game.
That's hilarious.
You are right. Like, a lot of his farm really just came from sheer farm and even the kills alone. But that's one of the signatures of Fnatic Onyx Philippines from MPLPH Season 14. They are willing to lose the Lords, but they're not willing to let go of their leads. You can get the objective, but they're going to get the kill trades after. And then every Lord that SRG got through that way led to them getting taken down and actually losing turrets.
I mean, you get a second Lord and you still end up losing 2 inhibs, right? Like, who would have thought of that as a possible scenario?
Yeah, it's definitely a scary place to be, especially when you know that these clapbacks are so hard from both sides, honestly. But I will give it to FNOP. The early game was played especially well. They had a lot of tempo against SRG and forced SRG to actually respond to them accordingly. Initially, we were expecting the re-gank on that top side after, I mean, unfortunately, Cram getting put down to 1 HP. He didn't die, but that initial recall, he lost 1 minion off of that wave, and after that, Kirk played it really, really well. I mean, give the man props. If he doesn't get MVP, I mean, sure, but that Edith is disgusting.
9-0, 9-0, 10 Edith. What's the last time you seen Edith have that stat in this meta?
And the MVP of the game is the gold standard. A lot of highlight on Innocent. A fantastic gold laner in his own right as he is on the road to potentially achieving the golden road. But you gotta get through the gold standard first. 6, 2, and 14 on this Bruno.
Dude, my man Innocent almost repeated the CFU 1v4 in that top guy.
That's true.
You know, like, it's a scary moment, but up against Kelra, we even saw in the early game before the first turtle that Innocent tried to get an 1 extra minion. Kelra willing to trade Purify just to make sure that Innocent instantly loses that lane.
Yeah, I mean, that early game was really hard for SRG's side, right? Each lane was already struggling. Their initial coverage towards the top side of the map didn't really prove much because they forced Cram to recall anyways. That isolated island, Kelra did a great job in lane, but even Superfins finding that solo kill into Stormy is why they had such a perfect transition into mid with a whopping lead. And this made King Kong's job super easy, right? Just power farm, show a little bit of presence, make SRG respond to you, then hop to the opposite side of the map and clear the entire wave.
I think we also see here one of the tendencies of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, or excuse me, this draft. Everyone can do their job right. From Brusco to Friends to King Kong, Kirk, you could say they did their jobs and what they needed to do with each sequence and with each fight. But if Kelra didn't step up and help finish that job, if he got taken down too early, if Fnatic Onyx PH lost their main source of basic attack damage at the worst possible time, then they wouldn't have been able to get this win. This was one of those moments. I was looking at that thinking, Kelra, no way, bro, you're actually gonna go down here, but he survived. Innocent tried, but FNOP were able to clear the minion waves first. King Kong hard focused each minion in that wave that Innocent had.
And it only happened because Innocent missed his SOD, right? Like that could be a complete different event. If there's one thing I would